Hello, dear friends. I don't know if you have noticed that there is something different in the atmosphere. Something has changed and we don't know what exactly. The only thing we feel is that we are in a new cycle. This change of environment produces insomnia sometimes and sleepiness other times, alternating tiredness with energy. Opinion piece. Everything is about to change. There is something new in the air. It's different from a month or two ago. Clarity is needed on the confusion. The world is not on the brink of extinction. A solar storm hits Earth on Saturday. Winds will blow, but you will rise above them. It is a process of purification, not destruction. You may have had ascension symptoms. We are ascended here now in this moment. Good times are ahead for the human collective. Gas prices fall as Russia eases supplies. Crude Oil Set for 11% monthly advance. Washington pledges to help Taiwan defend itself. Brazil's indigenous murders rise 61% in 2020. Indians invite Pope to visit graves of miners in Canada. Barcelona to host the first quantum computer in Southern Europe. Inflation soars in Spain and reaches its highest figure in 29 years. Squid game cryptocurrency launched and its price soars by 26,000%. Cryptos to disappear as central banks launch digital currencies. Let's start. Message from the ascended red dragon, Eltor by Citara. All is in the process of being recalled and revealed. You have had numerous messages. You have read, you have studied, you have listened with great tenderness to the inner whispers of the human heart. What is coming to the table now is different from a month ago or a few months ago. Human, you are growing. What resonated with you before may not resonate with you now. That's okay. You are developing more towards your higher intuition. Your higher self is more fully integrated, and so you will resonate more fully with the vortex frequency of the higher dimensional self that your cells are now vibrating with more alacrity. Clarity is what is needed in the world now. You light workers, star seeds, ascended masters in form, are bringing this forth when you hold the light of the inner calling and stand in your truth, when you speak your truth with great love, tenderness and care, and when you simply are. Your inner fire is illuminating the darkness, and it is fleeing into the nothingness where it will be transmuted. Red Dragon. Red dragons are the largest of all dragons. They are highly intelligent and very self-confident beings. They live in high mountains and preferably near a volcano. There they hide their treasures on which they sleep as if they were their bed. Legends say that if you get close to an adult red dragon, you can feel its suffocating heat and see how fire moves between its scales. Tip: never get close to one or you could get scorched to death. They know fire better than any other dragon. They are able to dominate it and throw it at will, destroying everything in their path. Legends say that red dragons are able to breathe fire. They smell sulfur from afar. In fact, this alerted many villagers of the arrival of a large red dragon and they could flee. Message: we are dealing with the dark ones. We dragons enjoy the hunt. We enjoy justice and taking down the dark ones. Also, they are delicious morsels for us. We transmit them with our fire. For too long, humankind has been afraid of its own shadow, of the creation of its own collective consciousness that would consume the dark. You will see all the ways in which society has been used against you, against humankind. You have encouraged this awakening process. Anger doesn't serve you. Standing firm in your own light and fire of truth serves you, and blesses the collective consciousness of humankind. We, dragons, also have a collective consciousness. When a dragon goes dark, everyone feels it. We have been wrestling with the descended dragons, and many have come into the light, and that aspect of the experience has been completed. Our collective of ascended dragons has grown in numbers and wisdom. For those who have changed, they bring information, perspective, and a renewed fire to further their own advancement into the ascended zones, which benefits all. Purification. Your new earth will be of your own creation, of your own ascended human harmonics and templates, and you will co-create this. Do not focus on the narrative presented. It is the old way. Listen to the higher dimensional whispers that you can no longer escape. For when you vibrate in an ascended form, you are one with these energies. Your world will not be on the brink of extinctions as ours was. Those who won our world were left with the lower vibrational realm, with no food, competition, pain and sorrow. Sorrow for what was lost here, for what was lost there. For in war, no one truly wins because wounds must be healed. Many will tell you that this is what you are heading towards, and that is because that is what they want the human collective to believe. We dragons are strong, powerful, very intelligent and cunning when necessary. But we are not as creative as the human collective. Our gifts stack up differently. No one, no race is as creative as the human. That's why they looked to you so much for control. For you were originally so pure that it was an easy game for the dark to fool you and create a reality that served them. This realm must be cleansed with the fire of purification, not destruction, and with the light of the breath of the Creator. And it will be. Ascension. The winds will blow, but they will guide you, and you will soar above them on the currents beneath your wings. You will see with the sight of the dragon, with the wisdom of the human heart, and with the speed of the dragon's wings. Nothing can move you in this space of oneness with who you really are. You are ascended here and now in this moment, but these frequencies that are being brought through in this moment of now, it is simply time for the world around you to pick up your frequency and literally catch up. You may have had some intense ascension symptoms. The time has come for integration and rest. The 1111 portal is approaching. You are not yet in the window of energies, but keep in mind that you are still recovering for the 1010 portal, and the 1111 will be even stronger. And human being, the good news is that you are stronger too. You are strong enough for this. We see you as the mighty warriors helping us on this side of the veil. Emotions and programming are the waves you have been riding. Do not succumb to the fear that overtakes you. No, see with a higher vision. See with the golden light of source as we ascended dragons do. Good times are ahead of the human collective. Look into my golden eyes and be at peace. We are one. We ascended dragons pledged our service, always and only by light, for we are light in dragon form. I am Eldor. Economy. Stocks rise. Stock rose Friday, with investors shaking off disappointing earnings results from Apple and Amazon that came during an otherwise solid quarterly reporting season from many major companies. Tech stocks hit record highs as Facebook changes name to Meta. Technology stocks on Wall Street hit record highs on Thursday after a name change by Facebook generated positive vibes that led the big tech sector to rally. Microsoft surpasses Apple as most valuable company. Microsoft is placed as the most valuable company on the planet after shares of competitor Apple suffered a fall for failing to meet financial expectations set for the fourth quarter. Microsoft took the top stop after Apple shares fell 3.5% amid supply chain problems affecting sales of iPhones, which could stand well into the holiday season. Markets. Gold falls as dollar rises. Gold fell Friday as the dollar rose, with investors looking for more guidance from the Fed's upcoming policy meeting on tapering support as inflation expectations rise. Gold prices fell to their lowest level in more than a week on Friday, weighted down by a stronger dollar after data showing inflation remained high last month put the focus on the Fed's monetary policy meeting next week. Oil is poised for an 11% monthly advance. Oil is on track for a monthly gain of about 11% on signs that consumption is outstripping supply and depleting inventories. High cost of lithium drives up battery prices. The rising costs of materials such as lithium and nickel used to make electric vehicle batteries are starting to weigh on the prices of these batteries in China. Americas. Brazil raises rates to highest level in 4 years to curb inflation. Brazil's central bank on Wednesday raised the country's key interest rate by 1.5 percentage points to 7.75% a year, its highest level in 4 years, in an attempt to curb rising inflation, which is already above 10% year on year and threatens to plunge Brazil into stagflation. Indigenous mothers in Brazil rose 61% in 2020, a new record. At least 182 indigenous people were murdered last year in Brazil, 61% more than in 2019, the effect of violence that has grown in the last 2 years, according to an annual report of the Indigenous Missionary Council, released Thursday. Indigenous invite Pope to visit and mark graves in Canada. The Canadian indigenous group that last May announced the discovery of 215 unmarked graves at a government boarding school run by a Catholic religious order on Thursday, invited Pope Francis to visit the community and the former school resident in Kamloops. Cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrency inspired by the Squid Game launches and its price soars 26,000% in 3 days only. Dubbed Squid, the digital currency, which was traded at just over a penny on the dollar last Tuesday, has grown more than 26,000% and is now over $3. In the last 24 hours, its price increased by 330%, raising its total market value to more than $250 million. The virtual ecosystem has come of age. Once global central banks launch their own digital currencies, most private currencies will disappear, according to Subhash Chandra Garg, India's former finance secretary. Asia. Evergrande pays overdue interest, dodges default. Some bondholders of China Evergrande Group received an overdue interest payment shortly before the expiration of a grace period, giving the in-depth real estate developer more time as it tries to raise cash through asset sales. Washington committed to help Taiwan defend itself. U.S. Representative to Taiwan, Sandra Outkirk, said Friday that the U.S. is committed to helping Taiwan defend itself amid rising tensions between Taipei and Beijing. Submarine struck in secret deployment in South China Sea. On October 2nd, the USS Connecticut, a Seaworth-class nuclear-powered fast attack submarine, struck an unidentified object in the South China Sea. 11 sailors received no life-threatening injuries, and the submarine was forced to limp back to the naval base in Guam for evaluation. India deploys US weapons on China border. The military built up in the northeast Hindustan region has seen India bring in US-made Chinook helicopters, towed howitzers and ultralight rifles, supersonic cruise missiles, and a new age surveillance system. Taliban push to unlock Afghan billions abroad. Afghanistan's Taliban government is pushing for the release of billions of dollars in central bank reserves as the drought-stricken nation faces cash shortages, mass starvation, and a new migration crisis. Europe. European gas prices fall as Russia's easy supply. The price of natural gas in Europe fell below $850 per 1,000 cubic meters for the first time since late September. Prices fell shortly after Russia said it would start shipping more gas to Europe in less than 2 weeks. Russian ruble rises. High oil prices and the central bank's tight monetary policy have paid off for Russia, as the ruble is on track to post its biggest monthly gain of the year against the dollar. So far in October, the ruble is up more than 3% against the US currency. Spain. Barcelona will host the first quantum computer in Southern Europe. The Barcelona Supercomputing Center will host the first quantum computer based on superconducting Squid technology in Southern Europe by coordinating the work of Quantum Spain, a project for which government has already approved the allocation of 22 million euros. Inflation soars in Spain and reaches its highest figure in 29 years. The rise in electricity and fuel prices has pushed the CPI up to 5.5%. The consumer price index rose 2% in October compared to the previous month and shot up its year-on-year rate to 5.5%, which is 1.5 points above September's rate and its highest level in 29 years due to the rise in electricity. Spanish bond yields exceed 0.6% for the first time since May. Spanish sovereign debt yields exceeded 0.6% on Friday, a level they had not reached since May, on a day on which it was announced that inflation in the Eurozone rose 0.7 of a point in October to 4.1%. The average prices of electricity in the wholesale market has been set for tomorrow, October 30, at 124 2.53 euros per megawatt hour, which represents a decrease of 29% compared to the price set for today, reaching its second lowest price in the last 2 months. The National Court asked the US for guarantees for the extradition of Hugo Carvajal. The plenary of the Criminal Chamber of the National Court of Spain agreed to ask the US for guarantees in the extradition of the former Venezuelan intelligence chief Hugo Carvajal so that the defendant receives dignified treatment once the delivery is executed. The threat of lava advances through the south of the volcano at 6 meters per hour. 40 days after the eruption of La Palma, emergency teams continue to monitor the progress of the multiple lava flows that the volcano has been forming, particularly the one advancing through the south, which has reactivated and is devouring land at 6 meters per hour. An earthquake of intensity 4.4 in the Cantabrian Sea is felt in Lugo and La Coruña. An earthquake registered at 6:32 hours in the Cantabrian Sea, north of Viveiro and the region of Ortegal, was felt in several towns of Amariña Lucense, and even in the area of Terra Chá in the province of Lugo, as well as in part of the coast of La Coruña. Insolvent or solar eruption of maximum class could cause a magnetic storm. A strong flare has been detected Thursday on the surface of the Sun, and even that has been catalogued in the maximum class of the scale of measurement of the activity of our star. The flare, which occurred on the side pointing toward Earth, had a magnitude x1 and lasted about half an hour, peaking at 15:35 GMT in Greenwich Mean Time. Solar storm hits Earth Saturday. Geomagnetic storm warning Friday in the wake of a powerful coronal mass ejection event Thursday that released clouds of supercharged solar particles into space toward Earth. Thursday's massive X-class flare eruption from the Sun is expected to reach Earth on Saturday and could wreak havoc on a variety of man-made devices sensitive to solar radiation. The coldest place in the universe is in Germany. Scientists at the University of Bremen succeeded in simulating the lowest temperature ever recorded, 38 billionths of a degree above absolute zero, or 237.15 degrees below zero, where all atomic activity stops. No fear of ghosts. Americans are willing to live in haunted houses to get discounts. People don't seem to mind living with ghosts if it means they can buy their dream home. According to survey data, 30% of citizens would live with the paranormal if it led to a cheap property of their choice. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.